My name is Elena. I am 47 years old, and I live in Madrid, Spain. I own a small cafe called Café Luna. It is in a quiet little plaza, away from the noisy streets. People say my cafe feels warm and cozy. There are wooden tables, green plants, and big windows where the sunlight comes in. In the mornings, the smell of coffee and sweet pastries fills the air. It makes me feel calm, even when life feels heavy. I smile at my customers and listen to their stories, but when I close the cafe at night, the quiet feels very big. I live alone in a small apartment above the cafe. I was married once, but my husband left me for a younger woman. That was many years ago, but the pain never fully left. Because of that, I am afraid to love again. I tell myself that my cafe is enough, that my work can fill the empty spaces in my heart. Most days I almost believe it. Maria, my assistant and close friend, works with me in the cafe. She is also in her 40s, and she always tries to make me laugh. Elena, she often says, you work too hard. You need more than coffee and customers. You need someone who looks at you with love. I just smile and shake my head, pretending her words don't touch my heart. But secretly, I know she is right. I remember how it felt when someone's eyes looked at me with warmth. I remember how it felt before my heart became careful. But I pushed the thoughts away. It is easier to wipe tables than to think about dreams. Every day my life is the same. I wake up early. I open the shutters of the cafe. The smell of the city comes in. There is warm bread from the bakery next door. I can also smell the cars on the street. Sometimes, there is the sweet smell of flowers from the vendor on the corner. I grind the coffee beans and listen to the sound they make. It is a sound I know well. Customers come in. Some sit alone. Some come in pairs. I pour coffee. I serve pastries. I smile and talk about the weather, about football, about the price of tomatoes at the market. When the last person leaves, I clean the tables, turn off the lights, and go upstairs. I eat a small dinner, sometimes just soup and bread. Then I sit by the window and look at the plaza. I tell myself I am fine. And in a way I am. But there is a quiet part of me that waits. Waits for something, even if I don't say it aloud. One night, the rain came very hard. It was late, and the cafe was almost empty. Maria had gone home. I was cleaning the espresso machine when the bell above the door rang. A young man came inside. He was wet from the rain. His hair stuck to his forehead, and his jacket was dark with water. He carried an old dark case. It was a violin case. He looked poor, but his face was gentle. He stood near the door and said, "I am sorry. Is it okay to stay for tea? I can sit in the corner. I can play very softly." I looked at him. He looked cold and maybe hungry. "Yes," I said. "Take the table by the window. Tea is fine. Play if you want to. We are almost closing." He smiled a small smile and went to the table. He ordered simple tea. He opened the old case. The violin was beautiful, dark wood, like my old furniture. Julian began to play. The sound he made was not just music. It was feeling. It was sad, but it was also strong. It was like the rain outside, but inside my heart. The notes told a story of waiting, of wanting something good. I stopped cleaning. The cafe was quiet except for the rain and the violin. Tears came to my eyes. Not sad tears, but open tears. When the song finished, I walked to his table. Julian looked up shy. "That was beautiful," I said. My voice was a little shaky. "Thank you. It is just an old piece," he said. I went to the counter. I took a fresh pastry, the one with sugar. "Here. This is for you," I told him. "Good music deserves good food." He smiled. His smile was honest. It made my cozy cafe feel warmer. Julian began to visit Café Luna regularly. He did not come every day, but often. He always sat in the music corner. He drank tea, sometimes just water, and he played. My customers liked him. They stayed longer to listen. We started to talk. I told him about the cafe. The difficult ovens, the funny customers, the smell of fresh bread. Simple things. Julian told me his dreams. He did not want to be a street performer forever. He wanted to play in a big hall. A hall with high ceilings and many people listening quietly. He said, "I need money for school, but mostly, I need someone to hear me." I listened. I gave him free tea and sometimes a small bocadillo. Maria noticed me one afternoon. She was wiping the counter. Julian was playing a quiet, quick song about the sunshine. Maria leaned close to me. "Elena, look at your face." "What is wrong with my face?" I asked. "Nothing. It is new. It is smiling all the time. Julian is good for the Café Luna, and he is good for Elena." Maria winked. I felt my cheeks get hot. "Maria, stop. He is a customer. A good one." But she was right. When Julian was near, I did not feel the cold air of my old sadness. I felt alive. The days blurred into warm evenings. He stopped being the young musician. He was Julian. One Tuesday, after I locked the door, Maria went home. Julian stayed. He was packing his violin. "Wait a moment," he said. He took the violin out again. He did not sit. He stood right there, near the counter, where the light was soft. He played a song I did not know. It was slow and deep. It sounded like my heart beating fast. When he finished, I could not speak. "That song," Julian whispered. "I practiced it. It is just for you. For being kind to me." My heart felt stupid. It felt young. It felt 47 years old and very new. My ex-husband's cheating, my fear. It all went quiet for that moment. We started spending evenings together. Not in the cafe. We walked the small, dark streets of Madrid. We talked about silly things. We talked about important things. We talked about how music can save you. He never talked about the age difference. He treated me like I was just me. "Elena." But Madrid has eyes everywhere. And Madrid has mouths. Whispers began in Café Luna. Old Senora Carmen, who only drinks espresso and judges everyone, started it. "He is so young," she whispered loudly to her friend. "She is old enough to be his mother," the friend replied. They looked at me when I brought them their coffee. The comments grew louder. "He is using her," someone said. "He just wants her cafe. He wants the easy life she gives him." They laughed. A cruel small laugh. I tried to pretend I did not care. I wore nice clothes. I put on red lipstick. But the words chipped away at my safety. My old fear came back. You are not enough. He will find someone younger, someone better. Julian saw the change in me. I was quiet and sad again. We were sitting on a bench in the plaza one evening. I was looking at the ground. You heard them? I asked him. It was not a question. Yes. The old women are bored, Julian said simply. They say you use me. They say I am foolish. Julian took my hand. His fingers were long and warm. Elena, listen to me. They do not hear what we hear. They hear only numbers. 47 and 29. They do not hear the music. I still felt insecure. My history felt heavy, like a stone in my pocket. That night, we walked back to my apartment. The street lights were yellow, making the wet pavement shine. I stopped before my door. Julian, it is complicated. I am afraid of being hurt again. He did not argue. He did not use many words. He just looked at me, a long, honest look, like the look he gave his violin. Then, under the yellow streetlight, he kissed me. It was not a young, rushed kiss. It was gentle and serious. It felt like a promise. He pulled back slightly. His breath was warm against my cheek. When I play now, Elena, he said, his voice low. I play for you. Only for you. If I wanted a cafe, I would ask for a job. I want you. My fear did not disappear, but it became much smaller. I decided, I will trust the music. For 2 months, everything was beautiful. We were happy. We were an unlikely but definite couple. Julian's music filled my life. My kindness filled his hunger and his spirit. But then, Julian started acting nervous. He was quiet when he played. He kept his phone close. He would take calls outside, talking low in the plaza. He said, "It is a complicated business. Do not worry." But I did worry. My history shouted at me. Secrets. This is how the secrets start. One sunny afternoon, I saw him. I was crossing the plaza to buy fresh flowers. Julian was standing near the fountain. He was talking to a woman. A beautiful woman. Young, with long, dark hair and sharp, bright eyes. They were arguing. The woman was angry. Julian looked miserable. She placed a hand on his arm, and he pulled away fast. My stomach dropped. I did not go over. I hid behind a newspaper kiosk. I felt cold again. Here it is, I thought. The reason. When Julian came back to the cafe later, he looked terrible. I did not ask about the woman. I did not need to. My fear already gave me the answer. Finally, I asked, "Who was she?" Julian sighed, a long, heavy sound. "Elena, I am sorry. I should have told you." He sat down, putting his head in his hands. He explained. Her name was Clara. She was his ex-girlfriend. I was very poor then, Julian explained. We lived together. Now she is back. She wants money. Money? Why? I asked, my voice tight. She says if I do not pay her, she will go everywhere. She will go to the gossipers. She will go to the music promoters. She will tell everyone that I am a liar. That I only came to Café Luna to use your money and your kindness. She will say I am using you to escape poverty. My hands shook a little. Clara was blackmailing him. But the words she threatened to use, they were the exact words the gossipers already used. My old wound opened wide. You hid it, I whispered. You took secret calls. Because I was scared. I was scared you would go back to being afraid. I was scared you would believe them and leave me. Julian looked desperate. I felt betrayed, not by Julian, but by the situation. It felt too much like my past. The confrontation came the next day. Maria was busy in the kitchen. The cafe was full for afternoon coffee. Senora Carmen and her friends were there, watching. The door opened, and Clara walked in. She was beautiful, yes, very striking. She looked around the simple cafe with judging eyes. She went straight to my counter. You must be Elena, Clara said, smiling a fake, sharp smile. Yes. What can I get for you? I asked, trying to be calm. She ignored me. She raised her voice so everyone could hear. Julian is outside. He is waiting for me. We need to talk about his future. She spoke quietly, like she was sharing a secret. Do you really think he loves you, old woman? You are 47. He is 29. You are just his way out of poverty. The cafe went silent. Even the clinking of cups stopped. Senora Carmen gasped loudly, holding her chest like it was a dramatic show. My face burned hot with shame. In one moment, I felt like I was back in the past, when my husband left me. That pain of being replaced and feeling foolish. Before I could say anything, the cafe door opened fast. Julian ran inside. His face was red, and his eyes were angry. He had heard everything. He walked quickly past Clara and stood beside me. He put his arm around my waist like he was protecting me. Clara. Stop it, Julian said. His voice was not gentle anymore. It was hard and sharp, like a door slamming shut. Julian, baby, Clara said in a sweet fake voice. We just need to talk about the payment. There is no payment. Get out of this cafe. Get out of my life. And don't ever talk to Elena again. She is everything that is good. She is the opposite of you. Clara froze. Her eyes widened like she couldn't believe what she was hearing. She had lost her power over him. She gave me one last cruel look, then turned and left the cafe, slamming the door behind her. The cafe was completely silent. Everyone was staring. I could feel their judgment and confusion. Julian looked down at me, his eyes full of worry, but I couldn't face him. My heart was too full of pain and doubt. I need to clean the tables, I said quietly. My voice was cold. I pushed his arm away gently, needing space to breathe. The next few days were heavy and slow. Julian came to the cafe, but he did not play music anymore. He just sat at a table in the corner, drinking tea and waiting, hoping I would talk to him. I served him politely, but my words were short. I could not bring myself to trust him fully, even though part of me still wanted to. The fear inside me was too strong. One morning, Maria found me crying near the sink in the kitchen. My hands were wet from washing dishes, and my shoulders were shaking. You are going to let those liars win, Elena? Maria said firmly. She grabbed a towel and dried her hands. You believe a crazy ex-girlfriend and a group of bored old women over Julian's music and his love for you? I shook my head, sobbing. But what if they are right, Maria? What if I am just being foolish again? Maria put her hands on my shoulders and looked into my eyes. Julian stood up for you in front of everyone, she said. He didn't hide. He didn't run away. He chose you. Now you must choose him. Elena. The real test of love is not when things are easy, but when the storm comes. Her words went deep into my heart. They were simple but true. A few days later, something unexpected happened. A man I had never seen before came into the cafe. He was well-dressed and wore a velvet jacket, which was different from usual customers. He looked around the cozy space with a thoughtful smile. He introduced himself as a gallery owner from a rich part of Madrid. I heard a violinist playing here a few weeks ago, he said. The music was incredible. I want to sponsor a small performance here, in this very cafe. We will invite important people, musicians, artists, and others. Julian needs to be heard. Julian, who had been sitting quietly at his usual table, looked shocked. His mouth opened slightly, but no words came out. This was his dream coming to life right in front of him. We quickly agreed to organize the performance. Maria and I worked hard to prepare everything. We chose a Sunday evening when the cafe was usually closed. On the night of the performance, Café Luna was full. Señora Carmen and her friends came. They came curious and ready to judge. The man with the velvet jacket sat in the front row. Julian looked nervous but also determined. He wore his best clothes. Slowly, he tuned his violin. He started with a famous song. His playing was strong and clear. When the song ended, he stopped and looked at the crowd. Then his eyes found me. I stood near the counter, my hands shaking. Julian cleared his throat. Before the next song, he said loudly, I want to say something. I came to this city with nothing. I had only my old violin and a big dream. I had no food. I had no hope. He looked straight at me. This is Elena. She owns this cafe. People talk about us, don't they? They say I use her. They say she is too old for me. But I want you to know the truth. She believed in me when no one else did. She gave me tea, yes. But more than that, she gave me hope. She showed me that music is not just sound. It is trust. This song, I wrote it for her. He lifted the bow and began to play. The music was slow and full of love. It felt like my heart was finally safe. It felt like all my sadness was leaving me. The song was a simple, beautiful message. Tears filled my eyes. I cried right there in the middle of my cafe. When Julian finished, the room exploded with applause. It wasn't just for the music. It was for the truth. I saw Señora Carmen. She wasn't gossiping anymore. She was wiping her eyes. Julian came down from the small stage and walked straight to me. He didn't care about anyone watching. I love you, Elena, he whispered. Do you believe me? I looked at his face. The man who chose me, the man who wrote this song for me. Yes, I said. I don't care about what people say anymore. I care about us. The performance was a success. Soon, Julian got offers to play small concerts. A music school even gave him a scholarship. The gossip stopped. The music had won. But Madrid still felt heavy. Too many memories. Too many whispers. 6 months later, we sold Café Luna to Maria, who was very happy to own it. Julian and I moved to a small bright town by the sea, in the south of Spain. It was peaceful there. The air smelled of salt and flowers, not just coffee. I opened a tiny new cafe called Café Mar, which means sea cafe. It only has 2 tables outside, and the coffee is simple. Julian teaches music to children in town. He also plays concerts in nearby cities. We live in a small apartment above the cafe. In the evenings, when the sun turns red and sinks into the sea, Julian sits on our balcony and plays his violin. Sometimes, he plays a song just for the sunset. I stay inside, serving tea to the last few customers. I listen to his music. It is our music, the music of love. Love has its own music. Sometimes, it plays the sweetest song when you stop waiting for it. If you liked the story, please do like, share and subscribe to my channel for more amazing stories. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.